Good morning. It couldn't be anything other than morning, could it, for me? I'm in Wiltshire, and I will never get sick and tired of saying how beautiful Wiltshire is. And I wish today I wasn't alone in this journey, because already it has been simply stunning, beautiful, gorgeous. Although it looks a bit cloudy, it is very, very warm. So I've only got a hoodie and a t-shirt on, so I can unravel myself for later if needed. But you need to see this. So this is what Kent should look like, as I've moaned many a time before about my home county. I've even driving down to this familiar part for me, actually. Yeah, just wish there was more area like this in Kent, but sadly it seems to be built up with lots of estates now and new housing, so it's my moan over. But it just I just miss this. It's not that it doesn't exist in Kent, it's quite hard to find. We're walking up to Clarendon Palace ruins now. I just want to say a huge thank you before I start this video and before you enjoy your history lesson. I had no idea this place existed, and it's through a subscriber, David, who watches the channel, and he messaged me fairly recently as of recording this, and he was like, "Did you know about this place?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." And my God, I'm so happy it exists. I'm not going to lie, it is quite a walk from anywhere close to where you need to park. But thank you to David for giving me a few suggestions as to where I could go. And I've seen a few dog walkers, but in fact, actually, I think I can see it almost in front of me. I want to assume that's where we are. We're headed in the right direction anyway. But yeah, sorry for this long introduction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to David's channel, his YouTube channel, below. And he does drones. So forgive me, David, if you're watching. There's a lot of drone flying and it's beautiful, and he's actually done one of this place. So via me watching that video, I feel more familiar at what I'm about to visit, which makes it even more exciting. Now, this isn't going to be the most spectacular ruin you've ever seen. However, if you Google mapped it, you'd understand that we are literally in the middle of nowhere. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change the fact that I have to walk a good distance to visit this as well. So without further ado, enjoy your history lesson. Thank you, David, for your wonderful suggestion. And anybody else out there in YouTube land, feel free to email me any suggestions that you want to see on this channel. I'll happily oblige you. But let's get there and enjoy your history lesson. Come on. Situated just shy of central Salisbury lies a ruin that for its location is nothing short of beautiful, that of Clarendon Palace. Before the site became a palace, it was noted that as part of Clarendon Forest it was used as a Saxon hunting lodge, so by the early 12th century, post-Battle of Hastings, it would be the Normans who would convert this lodge into a royal palace, namely both the Norman kings of Henry II and Henry III. It was, however, during Henry II's reign that in 1164 the palace would house an incredible piece of forgotten Norman history, that of the Constitutions of Clarendon, which attempted to restrict ecclesiastical privileges and palace limits on papal authority in England. By the mid-13th century, the palace would see huge renovation, including the construction of the King's Chapel and the Antioch Chamber. It was during the mid-15th century that the palace would see its decline, and by the 1500s the building was no longer being maintained, and in 1574 it was described as a simple hunting lodge.
As time passed, the palace would slowly be lost to time. Between the 17th and the 18th century, it would pass ownership numerous times before a new mansion was built, namely Clarendon Park. Now a scheduled monument, I can safely say that for its location alone, as well as its mark on Norman history, it's definitely a place that any explorer should visit should you be in the area.
Hello, welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed your history lesson. I cannot put into words, genuinely, I'm struggling, of how beautiful this part of the country is. And like I said, because I've visited Wiltshire on many occasions and driven through Salisbury many a time, to actually find a place that I didn't know about is always a real treat, and I feel really humbled when somebody just says, you know, hey, look, go check this place out. Not only do you give me your location of where to go, but you tell me where I can park and everything else. Just makes the journey so much easier, especially when I'm working in the week and you kind of like, you've had a really stressful day at work all week, or really stressful week, and you're kind of like, oh, I just want something straightforward to do for a change. And then out of the blue someone messages you, and it's just beautiful. So again, thank you, David, or Dave. I know I referred to Dave in his email, so I do apologise. Dave or David. Mind you, I suppose that's the same as someone calling me Danny, Dan or Daniel. I don't mind either. But yeah, I think in the distance you can see the very top of the spire of Salisbury Cathedral. Now, I don't know if Finger of Doom's going to get it, but if you look at that tree and look above it, might be able to see it. But I was blissfully carrying on this wonderful walk and look behind me. But wow, you know, I'm hoping that's Salisbury Cathedral Tower. If not, it's the church, but I'm pretty sure, considering how tall it is, it's got to be. But yeah, we're almost there now. And oh boy, I'm in love. I'm just in love with this area. And yeah, really hope you staying with me and you're enjoying it too. Still got a bit of way to go though. Got to get up this hill. So let's keep going. Wow. So you make it up the top of the hill and you're literally greeted with this. Now, as I said before, this isn't going to be the biggest ruin you've ever seen in your life, but wow, I can tell you from experience and from seeing stuff, there is a certain mysticism about this place that literally will overshadow most ruins that I've ever been to. And I don't know whether it's because we're in the area and I feel really relaxed. But yeah, there's something about this place which is spiritually really in keeping with what I love. Obviously you can see here, there's actually a lot of boards, and again that's a big tick on my list. I like these really clear information boards for everybody. Gives you where the great stable is, or was, which I'm assuming is over there. There's a beautiful cottage over there as well. Don't really want to rush this today, not that I try to, of course. You've got the old hall, which I'm assuming is that building that's on there. You can't really see it, but there is a little bit of a ruin there. Obviously we went through the Western Gatehouse, and that is our foundation for our gatehouse there, or part of the foundation, should we sort of say. So you would have entered, and you see all these little divots and lumps in the ground of where the foundations still are. And obviously our bulk of what we're looking at, which would be our kitchen and part of the Great Hall, which is beyond that. So what you're looking at, I think, is actually part of the wall for the kitchen, and then behind that is where the Great Hall is. But incredible. 120 horses that stable would have had. Can you believe that? And we are literally all alone here. And I say that because you wouldn't have known that when I was walking up here. There's quite a few people, and I was like, well, okay. And obviously, most of them had dogs, so it was only a custom not obviously stroke the dogs, because yeah, mine bit of therapy. But yeah, look at this. I mean, I think it just ticks so many things off the list for me. The fact that even though now I did realise actually when I came down here, this is now on Google Maps, so you can easily just put this in on Google Maps and find it. But there is just a serenity and peacefulness about this place. And I think by that cottage that's over there, you are pretty much all on your own. And I can understand why Dave, I can understand why this is a perfect for drone footage, because you're just, you know, you're in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I'm in love with this place. Look at that. So, everybody's familiar with their architecture. Look, there's our pillars, which are just shot up. Absolutely incredible. I'm amazed at all the signboards as well. We did ignore this one, so let's just go back to this for the sake. I didn't bring wind muff either, so I'm hoping that the wind's going to hold out. And believe it or not, the sun is breaking through the clouds. We shouldn't have any rain today. The Great Hall, there we go. That's what we are looking at. How brilliant. There's a little reconstruction of it. Again, it had a fairly short shelf life. I love saying that. For most of you familiar with my channel, I do like saying the word short shelf life. A bit of a tongue twister, but it's true. Most of these places do, don't they? They serve their purpose, and then through history, they just get slowly forgotten about. So as I'm recording this, summer has almost arrived. Almost. So we're expecting high temperatures today as I'm recording this, and which is why, like I said, I'm wearing a hoodie and a t-shirt underneath, and I'm already sweating, but I think that's just because I'm so unhealthy. I'm so unhealthy going up and down. Oh dear. Let's go to the other post here. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, and then at the back, thank you again from David's video, it shows there's loads more earthworks around here, and the Royal Courtyard, there we go, what we're looking at. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, a couple of people have arrived, so let's make the most of it. Look at that. It's so quiet. Look at all these bumps and mounds. Simply incredible. There's some steps. That is remarkable. I think we're going to definitely have to go down there. Didn't actually check to see what. Oh wow, look, there's some llamas. I knew there was some. I'd got mentioned just to be warned of the llamas. Look, there they are. Doesn't actually say on the thing, be warned of the llamas. I'm going to get a little bit closer. I don't want to, just so I can show you them. Warning. They've got their ears back. Trying to count how many there are. Seem to be multiplying. Closer I get. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my word. There you go, Ron. This isn't the History Channel anymore. This is a Nature Channel. Checking out the llamas. How amazing. been spoiled, haven't I? I really have. Amazing. Oh, please, let's get up here. Oh, don't want to fall back on that. Wow. Yeah, so there's just a couple that were behind me. I think, ironically, they were more interested in the llamas. I don't blame them. Technically, I mean, this is beautiful, but the llamas, it's just such a nice thing to see, isn't it? In their natural grazing habitat. Oh, there's more people coming. Wow, it's got busy all of a sudden. Rabbit. Oh, nature, you are spoiling me today. Oh, this is gorgeous, isn't it? So nice. Just to get that tranquility. You can see all these earthworks around here, loads. And then bits of stonework come through. Beautiful remnants of the foundation pillars looking from the Great Hall onto the kitchen. So incredible. I'm gonna traverse down here now, believe it or not. This is actually a little bit more sketchy than you can tell, but we're going to do it. There you go. Some square peg holes. We assume that would have been wooden beams. Again, because of its sort of shorter shelf life, we know that we're pretty much stuck in pretty much the Middle Ages. Right bang on the medieval period. What we refer to as the medieval period. I'm going to go down here and look at this signpost because I think it's good that we can try and cover all of them just so we can get our extra bit of information. Have a look. There you go, the garden terrace. So yeah. What was number 8? The Queen's Chambers. Number 9 was the wine cellar, what we walked up. So there we go, everybody. We've got clarification that those steps that we walked up was the wine cellar. I should have read that. That was my fault. Makes sense of how deep it is. And then look, this is the garden terrace. So right across there, as you can see here. And then there's flat plateau extra bits there. Amazing. And then it sort of terraces really. So you've got this flat part and then obviously it drops down into the valley. I mean, we are very high up. Obviously it's not a sheer drop from what I remember. I think it's just literally on top of part of the valley. As you can imagine, all the flies and insects are out in full force. So there you go, it says you're standing on the garden terrace looking west across the garden. Platforms towards the north front of the palace. Simply incredible. And then our Queen's Chambers are up over there, what we walked across. And the King's Chambers are pretty much over there. Number 7 was the Antioch Chamber with those like pillars there as well. So hopefully I'm giving you a nice little tour around. Just, I mean, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Come on. Okay, so one of the most prominent parts of this, where it says this building of which this fragment formed a part was long a favourite residence of the English monarchs and has been historically neglected, with many important transitions and distinguished characters, among others Philip, King of Navarre, here rendered the first. Should really read what that says. I don't know what that says. Home, no, which was paid to Edward I as King of France. John, King of France, with David, King of Scots, spent here a portion of their captivity. More especially, here were enacted the Constitution of Clarendon. So I think we mentioned that in our history lesson. The first barrier raised against the claims of the secular jurisdiction by the I wish I could read that. Something of Rome. The spirit awakened within these walls ceased not to operate until they had vindicated the authority of the laws and accomplished the reformation of the Church of England. Preventative the entire destruction of the interesting something of the past traces of Sir F.H.H. Bathurst, caused it to be supported and strengthened, and this is the inscription of the affixed AD 1844. That was quite impressive, even by my standards, to read that. Look at the blue skies coming through now. Got a feeling it's going to be a very hot and sticky walk back to the car, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Just glad I wore the right clothes for a change. Sometimes you never know. Beautiful English weather, whether to overdress or not. Wow, just stunning, beautiful. Well, I finished where I started, and the sun is finally coming out, and the heat is starting to really come through. Should be about 20 degrees by the end of the day, and I've got a few more explores to do, so quite excited by that. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this wonderful little journey of ours to explore this wonderful, small but yet historically important ruin. I really hope that I gave you a good little guide around. Obviously it was quite interesting for me. Obviously, like, it's nice when you learn new things. Obviously that wine cellar, for example, didn't know about that, and yet it's here. Brilliant, beautiful steps. And more importantly, thank you to a fellow subscriber who emailed me, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have genuinely come here. I wouldn't have known about it, and it wouldn't have I would have been like, wow, I didn't know, would have probably found it a few years later in the future. So I'm just grateful I've got to do it now. So thank you so much. Feel free to check out David's YouTube channel. Like I said, I put a link in the about section. Amazing drone videos, and a really good one of this. And like I said, if it weren't for his drone video, it would give me a better perspective and layout and understanding of this place, more importantly. But yeah, as I leave this area of Wiltshire, which I'm sad about really, because I hate to leave this part, and then obviously, you know, but I know that I will return at some point. And yeah, I won't forget this place in a hurry. So thank you so much for all of your support, all of your wonderful kindness, and spreading the word of the channel. It really means a lot. And you know what, words of Phoenix history, because history matters, and doesn't it just on a place like this. Stay safe, love to all of you out there, and yeah, ready? Kapow.